Welcome to Sketchbook Challenge number 41. There's only 9 challenges left. You guys have come this far, you might as well go all the way through. And I'm very excited that you guys are still here with me. Awesome. Today's Sketchbook Challenge is fonts and lettering, and this is something that's really cool. There are people that do entire sketchbooks with nothing but fonts and lettering in their sketchbook. Being able to hand draw fonts, it's actually a lost art, and it's actually really cool. And I'll tell you what, when I was a student at Art Center, I actually had to take a class. I think the class was called lettering. At the time, I thought the class was stupid. And we spent a lot of the class hand drawing. We had to hand ink these letters, and we really had to make them perfect and precise just on these little like illustration boards. But everything had to be perfect. The thing that was interesting about it, it did at the time, even though when I thought this class was dumb, it did give me a huge appreciation for fonts and lettering, and it actually made me kind of notice things that I didn't notice before. So I want to give you an example of what some of those things are that you may want to kind of look for when you fill up a page with fonts and lettering. When I was in middle school, I kind of learned how to draw block letters kind of very easily, where if you wanted to make the capital letter N, you could kind of just do this. And there you go, there's a capital letter N, and then a lowercase n, like I kind of knew. You just go like that, and there's your lowercase n. I can do awesome lettering, right? But what I didn't know, there's all kinds of different fonts, and there is a uniqueness to where the thicks and thins are. Also, you have some letters that are serifed and sans serif. These are sans serif because they don't have the actual serifs to them. I'll do a capital letter R. It's difficult to get it just right, and a lot of times with fonts, it's not just about drawing it, and yeah, anyone can make a letter R, but trying to have the thickness and thinness in the right place. For example, a lowercase n, you might have the thick part of the n is going straight up and down, but then it's thinner, anything that's going from side to side. So do you see how it's thicker, kind of going up and down, but anything that's going across gets thinner? You'll see that with a lot of fonts, not all fonts, but with a lot of them. It's just this really cool art. If you have something like an O, the outside of it might be a circle, but then the inside of it, because it's this idea, a lot of fonts have thicker going up and down and thinner on top and bottom. So you may actually have something like this, where it's actually a circle on the outside, but then it's thicker on the sides like so. Another interesting shape would be an E, where it's the same idea. It's circular, but again, it's thicker on the sides, thinner with areas that go across. T's, you know, a lot of people just are like, oh, T, there you go, it's a lowercase t. But if you really look at fonts, you'll see things like this. Again, the idea being you've got thicker going up and down and thinner going this way is something that you'll see quite often. So there is an art to fonts and lettering, and there's all different kinds. There's really cool fonts. One of my favorite fonts ever since I was a kid is the Star Wars font, which again is very specific. The way you're putting that S. That S is not the way most S's are, like this. Or if you have a serifed S, you know, you may have something more like that. This is kind of a janky S right here. There's so many different fonts, and I encourage you guys not only to do this for your sketchbook challenge, but the more you can draw fonts, the better it is, especially if you get into advertising or entertainment. When you start drawing layouts and you start doing thumbnails, if you can have a better sense of just basic fonts and your ability to draw them, it is going to help so much. Plus, when you write out birthday cards for people and you can actually do lettering like this and really make it stand out, where I don't know who Renoet is, but you can start doing fancy stuff like this. You can outline. And you can have fun with it. When I was a kid, one of my favorite fonts, because it was just so outlandish and so crazy, but I really liked. Part of what is so fun about the Indiana Jones font is this crazy drop shadow. You can do fun things with fonts where you can make it like chrome. You see the horizon. You know, something like that for fun. Sometimes it's cool for like a comic book, Kapowie, Kazam. Sometimes it's cool to, you do the block letters and then instead of filling in the letters, you can do a cool exaggerated outline. Instead of filling in the letters, you fill in the exaggerated outline and it just really makes those letters pop. Kapow! You can get really creative with fonts and say things like, let's say you want the word shadow. We'll write lightly, but we're not going to see that. Instead, maybe we've got the way that the shadows are behind the letters. You're going to be able to see shadow through the shadow, and hopefully it's almost like the word stands out even though we don't really see the letters. So if you squint your eyes really hard, I'm gonna try to erase most of where the orange construction lines were. And if I played my cards right, hopefully you'll still be able to read. Eraser, drop. Have fun with this, top to bottom, from side to side. I want you guys to do your research. You can look through all of the logos for some of your favorite bands. You can look through movie posters, look through some of the favorite fonts for the logos of the movies. You could go through comic books. You could draw the logos of some of your favorite superheroes, whatever it is. But I want you to fill a page with different fonts, do some studies of lettering from top to bottom, from side to side. There are people that do entire sketchbooks of this, and it's really beautiful. Lettering and font design, especially when drawn by hand, it truly is an art form. It's super, super cool. So I want you to take the time to do something really sweet for this page. Are you enjoying the sketchbook challenge? If so, give me a like. I want to know you're dedicated with today's mission, so let me know in the comments, challenge accepted. Also, if you have ideas for cool sketchbook challenges, I want to hear about them. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I've also got my Matt's Class series currently running. Plus, you can draw Star Wars videos, Hollywood is Dead, and sneak peeks at Aladdin 3477. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any sketchbook challenges. If you're drawing on an iPad, be sure to check out Interactive Sketchbook. The Sketchbook Challenge is growing each day, but depends on spreading the word, so please share this video on social media with your art friends so you can help challenge and motivate each other. Lastly, if posting your challenges on Instagram, be sure to follow me at Matt_Busch_Instagram. See you guys in a couple days for the next Sketchbook Challenge.